In most companies form, when you're about to buy a real estate property from either a real estate company or a real estate developer, in the form, there is always an option for either you want to buy as an individual or you want to buy in a company's name. Although most of our investors always buy in their individual's name, their kid's name, or his joint name with them and their spouse. But in this episode of Meet the Property Guy, we'll be looking at a couple of advantages, a couple of benefits, and a couple of reasons why you should consider buying a property in a company or a corporate name. Now, in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, this is Meet the Property Guy Property channel, and this will discuss everything real estate for first-time investors, avid investors, people who are starting to invest, or people who are just trying to learn as much as they can about the real estate market, the real estate opportunities, and the real estate industry in Nigeria. So we share tips, guides, and advices here about everything you need to know, from return on investment, risk, property titles, property documents, genuine real estate developers, different scams, shams in the real estate industry here in Nigeria. We share everything here. So this is your go-to channel. So if this is your first video, this is the first video you have viewing or you are watching on this channel, after watching this particular educative guide, I'll also suggest you go to our different playlists on real estate companies, playlist on property documents, hierarchy of property titles, short leads, playlist on Ekpe, Ibejuleki. We have so much topics, so much episodes that we have covered under each of these playlists, and you are definitely going to learn a lot from it. So let's go into the topic: 5 to 7 reasons why you should consider buying a property in a corporate or in a company's name. Now, once again, for those who have been watching our videos, you have watched 5 videos, 7 videos, this is your 4th video, this is your 10th video you are watching on our channel, and you have not subscribed yet. Really want you to subscribe. Unfortunately, I was unable to hit the 2K subscribers targets last year, but I really still want to hit that target. So we really need you to subscribe. This is also one of the ways that you can support our channel. Subscribe, share our videos with your friends, share our videos with your cliques, with your network, so that more people can also watch these videos and also learn from the different guides that you have been sharing. All right, so let's go into the topic. Let's go straight into the topic. Now, the number one reason, the first reason why you should consider buying a property in a corporate or company's name instead of an individual's name, maybe your name or joint name with your spouse, is confidentiality. Now, in most cases, when you buy a property, it's your name or names that are going to be on the survey plan and the deed of assignment, which means that once anybody pick up your documents, they know that you own that particular property. Now, there may be different scenarios where you want to buy a property and you want it absolutely confidential. Then you should consider buying that property in a corporate or in a company's name. Because when people see the survey plan or they see the deed of assignment, what they're going to be saying there is a company's name. Except the company is popular or is well known or everybody knows that you own that company, nobody will have a clue that that property belongs to you. Now, it's even advisable that if you want to be buying a property in a company's name, you should set up a limited liability company specifically just for buying properties. So that means that your normal company for hospital, your normal company for where you run your usual businesses, where you do your usual dealings, shouldn't be the one you are holding a property on. But you can set up a limited liability company specifically for your real estate investment. So since the company is not well known and some people don't even know that you are the one that owns that property, that owns that company or owns that entity, even when they pick up the document of that property, they are not going to know that you are the owner. So for confidentiality reason, is also more beneficial for you to buy a property in a company's name, not in an individual's name. Now, the second reason why you should consider buying a property in a company's name is for succession. Now, understandably, a lot of our investors are buying this property for their kids, their grandkids, and the next generations that are coming, so that they can also benefit from the income, from the compounding, and from the appreciation value of that real estate investment that they are doing. But currently in Nigeria, the succession line, that's if you buy a property, if an individual buy a property and in his or her demise, if his or her family want to lay a claim to that property or want to sell that property, they must obtain what we call a letter of administration, regardless of if the individual left a will or not. They must obtain a letter of administration for them to have full ownership to transfer that property to someone else. Now, the letter of administration, writing a will, registering a will is a bit complex, and there are a lot of court disputes on wills because a lot of the things that can be included in a will can always be disputable. So a better way for you to create a succession line for your kids, your grandkids, or whoever you want to take over that property at your demise is to buy that property in a corporate name. Now, based on my explanation on the first point, if you want to be holding real estate in a company's name, you should set up a limited liability company solely for that purpose. The company does not run any other business. You are only opening that business, setting up that business just to hold real estate. Now, for succession, what you are just going to do is that when you are setting up that corporate organization, that corporate entity, you are going to add whoever you want as your successor or to inherit that property as part of the shareholders of that property. Your lawyer can assist you with that. So by corporate law, by Nigerian corporate law, an entity will continue to be in business, an entity will continue to survive as long as one of the shareholders is still alive. So which means that at the demise of the individual that bought the property, the next shareholder that is among the board of directors or the shareholders can also take full possession of the property. So the person can sell the company or sell the property. So a better way is, even you have 3 kids, an individual have 3 kids, for example, you buy property A, you buy it in company's A name and include your child A as part of the shareholder for company A that owns property A. You buy property B, you buy it in property B's name, then include child B as the shareholder of that company B. You buy property C, you buy it in company C's name and include child C as part of the shareholder of that particular company C. So each child is added as a shareholder for each property that you want them to inherit. So at the demise of the individual, no need for any will, no need for any dispute. It's already clear. Child A will take over properties under company A. Child B will take over properties under company B, and then child C will take over properties under company C. Get a lawyer, they can do this for you. It's very, very easy. Now, the third reason why you should consider buying a property in a corporate name is for co-ownership. For co-ownership. So in case you have 3 friends, you have 4 friends, you have 5 friends, 10 individuals, 7 individuals that are interested in coming together to buy a particular property, and each person is contributing different equity, different amounts, different quota into that property. So the property is 10 million, and then 5 people are coming together to buy this property of 10 million. One person is beginning 3 million, one person is beginning 1 million, others are beginning to 2 million. Now, you can see that each person is contributing different quota to this particular investment. So which means that their ownership stake in this property is not the same. The best way to handle this kind of co-ownership is to buy that property in a corporate name or a company's name. So a company is set up with whatever name that you guys want to give it, then all the 5 investors will be added as directors and shareholders under this company. The percentage each person is investing in that property will determine the percentage shares each person hold on that company. So the person that owns 50% of the property, or that is contributing 50% to the property or to the investment, will be owning 50% shares in the company. The person that is contributing 10% of the property will own 10% shares in the company. So the investors owns as shareholders in the company, while the company holds the assets. As long as you are a shareholder in a company, any asset owns in that company's name, you have an equity in it. So by buying this property in a company's name, this way the deed of assignment, the survey plan will be in the company's name. So I contributed 1 million, I know whatever percentage I own in that as shares in that company and in the assets that the company owns. So this way I can sell my own share without affecting others. So my own 10% or my own 15% stake or share in that company, I can sell it. So the only thing that will just be done is a change of directors. They just update the change of directors and they will have a new director there. That's it. So each person have their own share, their own stake in the property, and then the property itself will be held under a corporate or a company's name. So this is the best way to handle co-ownerships, particularly when each person are contributing different quota. Now, if it is the same quota, everybody is contributing, the property is 10 million, everybody is bringing in 2 million, you can buy it in an individual's name. All your names will be in the deed of assignment because everybody is bringing in an equal amount. But once each person is having different quota and bringing in different amounts, the best way to deal with it is to buy it in a corporate name and just add everyone under that organization as a shareholder and a board of directors. Now, the fourth reason why you should consider buying a property in a company's name is easy access to funding and credit. Businesses, corporate organizations are set up specifically for the marketplace to do business. So if you look at it that in the future or at some point, your business or your startup will require funding. The funding can be from banks, can be from investors, either local or international investors. Regardless of any time you are talking to an investor, they will always want to look at your company's assets, because that's part of the credibility, that's part of the security they have in the amounts that are investing in your business. So if your company have prime assets, if your company have prime real estate, then it's a plus and also a very big advantage for you to have access to credit and to have access to funding, either from banks or from investors, because all you have to do is tender the different properties and different real estates that have been registered under that company name, which can be an added security for you to get funding from either investors or from banks. Now, the fifth reason why you should consider buying a property in a corporate or a company's name is limited liability. Limited liability. Now, there are some businesses you are going to go into or some transactions you are going to go into as an individual. Maybe you did a surety or a guarantor for someone that is obtaining the particular amount, and then in case of default, they are now laying claim to your personal possessions and personal properties. Now, because some of these properties you have bought it in a company's name, the businesses that you go into as an individual is different from the businesses you go into as a company. So a company does not have a liability for any business you go into as an individual. So despite the fact that you have started as surety or as guarantor or whatever for anyone based on you as an individual, the properties that you bought, the assets that you bought in company's name are immune to that. So even though the banks, the court or whoever may be laying claim to the properties that you bought in your name, they cannot lay claim to the properties that you bought in a corporate name, because it's not the company that went into that transaction, or it's not the company that stand as guarantor or surety for someone. So these are different loopholes that investors look at when they are making investment, because you also have to make your investment immune to some liabilities, tax liabilities, court liabilities, transaction liabilities. And one of the ways to do that is to buy some of your properties in company's name. Now, a very important tip is that when you are buying a property in company's name, like I mentioned before, ensure that the business name or the company's name or the corporate name which you are buying this property does not do anything else. That business is only set up to hold real estate. You don't do anything else on that in that company. You don't do anything else on that company's name. You only have that business set up, registered, just to hold real estate. And the ideal way is that each property that you are investing in should be in different companies' name. Now, the reason is that way you'll be able to sell the company without selling all your properties. For example, you bought it in no city, you bought it in a company's name, one company's name. You bought the worldly place, you bought it in another company's name. Then you bought the worldly islets, you bought it in another company's name. You bought Campbell Advantage, you bought it in another company's name. So you can sell any of this company, and it's only the assets that is registered under it that will be transferred to the new person that is buying the company, without affecting your other assets, because your other assets are bought in another company's name. Now, why should you consider selling a company, not the property? The advantage is that if you sell a property and you sign a deed of assignment, the person has to register that deed of assignment and do a governor's consent on it. But if you sell a company, automatically all the assets under the company are sold together. A deed of assignment is not needed and a governor's consent is not needed. Do you see a workaround now? That's a fantastic workaround for you to obtain a property without even signing a deed of assignment. Just buy the company. All the assets under the company's name automatically belong to you, and you don't have to pay any governor's consent or property tax for that. All right, so these are just the different tips, these are just the different guides why you should consider buying a property in a corporate organization name instead of buying it in an individual name. Now, if you have further questions about this, further enquiries, you have your comment box is always open. Our comment box is always open, so you can drop your questions, tell us what you don't fully understand, and if it's something that I can explain to you, I will explain it to you. If it's not, then I can either recommend you talk to a financial advisor or to talk to a legal counsel. Now, assuming the number one property on the planet, your property advisor, your property consultant, Rabi Mustafa is the name. And if you have any question, any inquiries about any of our videos, this one of our or any of our previous videos, our WhatsApp number is always on the screen. You can always reach out and I can assist with whatever that you have in mind as much as I can. Thanks, and see you next time.